Hello and welcome to this edition of Tech24 with me, Rebecca Bowring. Coming up in the programme, looking for love on Valentine's Day? Could your dream partner be one click away? But which website to choose? Is it better to pay? We'll take you through the dazzling array. And underground shopping in Singapore, we head down the subway where commuters can snap up gifts on the go just by scanning a barcode. While it's still more statistically probable that you will find the love of your life in a pub, these days some 15% of all couples meet on the internet, and it's growing. 1 in 4 French people have subscribed to a dating site, and in Germany, 41% say they've looked for love on the web. So is online dating just another way to give fate a helping hand? And are we embarrassed to admit that? I asked France 24 journalists for their thoughts.
It's been destigmatized. I think for a long time people associated it with sort of the lonely hearts section of newspapers and sort of 60-year-old farmers who were looking for people to go for long walks in the woods with, etc.
Online dating for older people, online dating for people who don't want serious relationships, for people who want to get married, different religions, different nationalities, people who are into different pastimes and activities. It's a bit overwhelming.
I'm not really a huge fan, but I do have quite a few friends who've done really well out of it, had loads of dates, proper relationships, and even a couple of friends who've got married.
I'm not sure it would be for me. I'm not sure I trust people when they put down what they say on their profiles.
Now, people don't have to be so direct, whereas in the past you might have asked for a phone number. You kind of add people on Facebook, you can start to get to know each other slowly, and it's a kind of better way to, and that is kind of online dating in a way.
Olander joins me now in the studio, a flesh and blood living example that online dating can be a big success.
It can be a big success. I met my lovely wife on Match.com.
And she is gorgeous.
But I did not have a very good experience on Match.com, and we'll get to that in a second. But what you heard there is very typical of what a lot of people who are actually not that familiar with it would say. I don't like it for me, but I've heard a lot of success for it. But you think about what meeting people is, especially in big cities like London or Paris, LA or New York, and it's really, it's a crapshoot. You know, you go to a bar, or you go to church, or you go somewhere and you just kind of randomly meet people, and you really don't know any more about them than if you met them online. Online affords you a certain amount of time to get to know somebody. Again, whether you believe what they write in their profile, well, do you believe what they say at the bar?
Over 1,000 sites just in France alone for meeting people. And there are all these niche sites that have been springing up. Let me tell you about some of the fun ones. Farmersonly.com, veganpassions.com, geekmemore.com, which might be quite good for us. And this one, I didn't believe this actually exists, but it does. stdmatch.net connects you with people with the same sexually transmitted disease.
There is a flavor for absolutely everybody and everyone out there.
Every persuasion.
But no matter what the site, here's something very, very important. There's actually, I'll say 2 very important things from personal experience. One, dating online is not shopping on Amazon. And I think for a lot of people, when they first get to their dating site, they go, ooh, I want that one. And then they kind of think they're going to order it. It's work. Which brings me to lesson number 2, that dating in the online world is kind of like dating in the offline world, where typically it's the guys asking the girls out. Those rules have not changed despite the technology.
Let's talk about the site Gleeden.com, which is for adultery. It's renowned here in France, and there are also US versions as well. What about the morals of that?
Well, to be fair, there probably aren't many morals, but that's not what this is about. This is what they will tell you it's about, is connecting people who are miserable, who really want to find a mutual connection, and they'll put the morals aside.
There's a lot of sites now that are trying to encourage people to get out from behind the computer early on and go out and date in person. That's the case for one here in France called Attractive World, and it's a high-end service for demanding singles, as they put it. Members organise about 200 outings every month, and they have a very specific way of making sure that you're the right person to join the site. I spoke to Ludovic Hureau, the founder.
What's unique about Attractive World is that it was the first dating website to have put a selection process in place. To join, you have to subscribe, which takes 10 to 15 minutes. We ask you to think about what you write because we only want serious people looking for something lasting. Then the community votes on the application.
Let's pick up now on something that our sports journalist Dan said at the start of the show, that Facebook is perhaps a new way to date online for nothing.
It might be, but then at the end of the day, Facebook is your network of friends, and having that anonymity to meet new people sometimes is a better thing than getting messed up with your circle of friends, and that can be complicated.
But we might see more apps,
you might
perhaps,
see more apps
mobile
that integrate
apps, Facebook apps. One of them launched in France this weekend. It's called Shag Tag. I don't know what you think of this. The idea is you tag people on Facebook with a kind of sexy post to say, I'd like to get intimate with you, and for every tag, then a condom is donated to...
Are you going to sexy poke anybody tonight?
I am not going to sexy poke anybody tonight, Eric, but it does have a humanitarian angle to it.
I think it's a little bit degrading for a lot of people, though.
Problem is, we all know each other, so, right, a little bit embarrassing potentially.
Don't sexy poke me.
I promise I won't. Your wife will kill me. Stay with us. Test 24's next. Test 24 this week takes us to Singapore, where there's a new treat in store for Shopaholics, a virtual supermarket on the underground. Commuters can make purchases on the move by scanning barcodes, known as QR codes, printed on billboards with their smartphones. PayPal has been piloting the scheme just in time for Valentine's Day.
Just a few months ago, nobody would have thought that the corridors of Singapore's underground system would double as shop windows. But thanks to the QR code, that's exactly what's happened. With the advent of smartphones, this new matrix barcode is becoming increasingly popular, especially in a country where 72% of mobile phone users have a smartphone. And what could be better than being able to shop whilst using public transport?
Singapore, all people have their tight schedule. Then they are not every day in their home, that they can search every day in their internet. So they can just come to Subway and just go for the QR code. We can save time, save money, because as you can see, they have their own promotions.
After scanning the product's QR code, the buyer is either directed to an e-payment platform or to the shop's website to place the order, as seen here in one of the oldest florists in Singapore.
All the orders from the internet and with the PayPal code will come into our centralized system. Yeah, and what you see here is all the pending web orders, and over here are all the orders that are not processed yet. And what they will do is that they will open up the order, and then they will look through the details, check that everything is in order. They press a button, it goes to the operations room.
This system is particularly attractive to shops such as Far East Flora, who are already set up to receive orders online. Using the QR code is a real advantage to their business model.
You know, the billboard, from what I saw, was a fixed cost, but now with the QR code, it becomes an income opportunity. Usually it takes a lot of effort for customers to try to remember your URL and stuff like that, so I didn't think that would work. Yeah, but now with the QR code, it's very easy.
For Far East Flora, 70% of its orders are already made on the internet, a figure that is set to rise as the use of QR code technology increases.
I'm looking forward to when that lands in the Paris metro. Thanks for watching this edition of Tech 24. Thank you to Eric Olander for all his expertise. Don't forget to check us out on the social network and also follow us both on Twitter. We end with the latest anti-piracy act that's causing a stir on the internet. After SOPA comes ACTA, an international trade agreement aimed at stamping out counterfeit goods. Opponents say it's yet another assault on a free and open internet. See you next week.
Copies of expensive goods. Misusing trademarks, like using a well-known car brand on tampons, for example, making General Motors tampons. It will safeguard research investments in development of products, e.g. medical patents or pharmaceutical products. It's also supposed to support artists and journalists and allow them to produce higher quality work.